Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel once again, of course, for another PSGL E-Series video. Here today for round 4 at China. Definitely not one of the fan favourites, let's be honest. But yeah, it's hopefully going to be another good race. Obviously, we're on a very good run at the moment, having won the first 3 out of 3 races as a team. So it's going pretty well so far. Obviously, hasn't been completely optimized in certain
Oh shit, it's gonna rain.
Oh, it's raining.
certain
Fuck.
Is it raining already?
circumstances, but
Yeah.
nonetheless,
Go,
it
go, go,
could
go,
have
go.
been a lot worse
Go,
start
go,
to
go.
the season, to be
No.
honest. But yeah, looking to continue
What?
that into this one, and you can see straight away there's going to be drama straight immediately in
Oh
this
my
race
God.
because loading straight into the session, you can see it's already
I
raining.
didn't even look at the weather for the race.
So we have to
I
get
made
out
it, I did,
as
man.
soon as
Get me
possible
out,
here
get me out, get me
on
out.
the slick tyres to start a lap, because this is likely going to be our only shot at a lap in Q1. So off we go, and yeah, it's a balancing act. To be honest, these situations, obviously you want to push on to make sure you get through the qualifying session, but at the same time you can't push so hard, make a mistake, and then find yourself down at the bottom anyway. So yeah, we're 4th on the road, so we're decently placed. We have our teammate Alvaro up second car on the road, so we're well placed to do a good lap here, going purple through the first sector, so that is absolutely ideal to start our lap. And yeah, as you'll be able to see, there's a couple of cars in the pits serving qualifying bans. One of those, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, is Harlan Marquis. I'm sorry if I've butchered your name, mate. And the other will be Thomas Ronhaar stepping in this week for Matthias van Erven. Yeah, as he retired on track last time out, picking up a qualifying ban that Thomas is now serving, so he'll be starting from the back of the field. But yeah, focusing back onto us. Didn't have a great sector 2, didn't go purple or anything like that. But now we're just focusing on this last couple of corners here, DRS open, down this super long straight. And just trying to spot our braking point 100 meter board into this hairpin, making sure we don't go too deep, and we hook up that pretty nicely, getting on the traction decently well, a little bit of a squiggle, and try and get around this tricky last corner. So easy to throw the lap away here and clonk the curb on the inside, just ruin the lap. But we go across the line, 9 thousandths was behind our teammate, and skipping on now a few minutes later, it is well and truly raining, and we are easily through to the next part of qualifying, just behind the likes of Patrick Sipos from the Race Clutch / Alpine team. So yeah, no need to risk in that first part of qualifying, but as you can see here, second part of qualifying, the track has got quite a lot wetter in those 10 to 15 minutes, onto the full wets already, going half a second down to the likes of Alexander Kraft.
Yeah, Kraft did an insane time. I won 3 tenths of him.
So very impressive from him.
You're in for another lap.
Potentially suggesting that he might be on a little bit higher downforce, but we'll have to sort of wait and see for the race to see if that is, well and truly the case. But now we're just trying to push on for a second lap, see if we can improve on our delta.
But that's
We're
it,
very
I
happy
think.
with the first lap we put down, but yeah, a little bit down here, and
Yeah, track's slower than ready.
yeah, we're just hearing here like the
Yeah,
track
it's
might
going
already be
slower.
going slower. So a little bit like the situation from Q1, where your first lap may be the best that you're going to end up with, but we're just going to keep on pushing nonetheless, because we know that there's plenty of time from our previous delta to pick up through the second and third sector. And as you can see here, we are just about to head into the green on that delta, so hopefully we can pick up a little bit more before the end of the lap, to try and sort of solidify our place into Q3. So heading into the third sector, a little bit deep onto the brakes, and we're about half a tenth up, heading out of this snail section. Try and get a good traction, because it's going to help you so much down this back straight here. Obviously no DRS in these conditions, and as you can see from the bottom, we are just about hitting under 10% on the battery, so we're going to start losing time on the delta in the top right, as you can see, as we are now losing power from that battery pack. But nonetheless, we're going to push on
I'm going for the
through
win.
these last couple of corners and see if we can just sort of see out this lap, take that little bit of improvement, and see if we can get our way through to Q3 without you know, messing around on more runs and more sets of tyres. Bit of a clonk on the curb through the last corner, but we do improve to a 47.2. And skipping on now to the end of the session, we decided to retire the car in the box, and we just about, a little bit close for comfort, we just about squeezed through. As you can see there, Luke Smith getting knocked out on a high 47.2. We did a 47.2 dead. So yeah, a little bit close for comfort, but we do make our way through to Q3. And at the start of the Q3, we went purple straight away, but coming around for our next lap, we've dropped to P5, so we do need a bit of an improvement here. 8.5 tenth improvement across the line. We go provisional P1 once again, and we're going to do much the same that we did in Q2 and carry on for a two lap push. And honestly, I think I should have probably learned my lesson from Q2 that maybe wasn't the best strategy. And another thing you may be able to notice here, the track is starting to dry up ever so slightly. It is still raining, but it's lightening up quite a lot, and there are a couple of cars out on track on the intermediate tyres. But yeah, for now we need to see, you know, which strategy is better. We're still pushing on, we're still improving. The track is getting faster and faster by the moment, so now we just have to focus on us, try our very best here. But I think we may have shown our hand a little bit too early and kind of compromised ourselves for this second push lap, because as we did in Q2, we are going to start losing a little bit of battery power on this back straight once again, deep into this start of sector 3 snail section. But yeah, we just have to try and fight the car best we can. Obviously we're on a full dry setup as the race will be dry, so just trying to fight the car best we can onto this back straight. Patrick Seaposs goes to the top with a 45.7. We are in line to beat that by a decent chunk. But yeah, now just trying to focus on these last couple of corners, losing a bit of time on the straight as we mentioned before. But we're just going to do the best we can with what we got, and yeah, just going to be losing a little bit of that pace on this little run and to the run to the line without that battery. But hopefully it doesn't cost us too much. Across the line, Alvaro, our teammate, goes to the top with a 45.3.
I lost a lot with the battery, I think.
But now we look to those behind us improving, and notably Chandler Kinchy comes around the last corner here on the intermediate tyres. He jumps up to P7 with a 45.7, but even more notably, Piotr Stachulek comes across the line and splits myself and Alvaro here, and we are gutted with that. Obviously, don't want to complain too much about getting a 1 and 3 on the grid, but yeah, the front row lockout was easily there for us today, and it's a shame that
I
made a little
not
bit of a
really
mistake
noticed, but I just
of the strategy to attack that qualifying session.
+1.
But anyways, moving on to the start of the race now, keeping our head up and looking forward to a long race. Obviously, have both cars up in the top 3 is absolutely ideal. So starting on the hard tyres,
if you can,
and planning to go into this race as usual on the F122 game. But now looking to the lights, and all 5 are on. Off we go in China, lights out and away we go, and we get a pretty bad start as Alexander Kraft draws up alongside us here, but we're going to try and send it around the outside of him here. But I just want you to sort of sit back and enjoy probably one of the best battles I've had on this game.
Bit more to get the better line. Round the outside they go. Clay is having none of it as he flicks back to the inside. Side by side they go. P3 and P4. And Shanaka Clay just has the better exit with Peter Stachulek waiting in the wings. Is anything going to go forward it down here? Shanaka Clay looks to the outside. All justling and bustling out of the
Oh my god, stop hitting me.
Clay is still there, but there goes Kraft for P3 for VSR. Round the outside he will go once again. Side by side between the Williams Esports driver, and they're heading up towards the line with Alexander Kraft. Forces out the experienced Clay. Round the outside he will go again. A little bit caught out on the track.
What are you doing? Why are you trying to go side by side there? Are you mad?
Yeah, and I think
Fucking
I think
crazy.
I was a little bit frustrated there for a moment, trying to go side by side through such a tight section. But yeah, looking back at that, and especially on the off-board view, that was a mega battle. So yeah, GG's to one of my old teammates from VSR actually, Alexander. Great battle there, and we come out unscathed in P3 and 4 where we started, and still within the DRS range of the top 2. So no harm done, and yeah, I just love those kind of battles side by side for half a lap. So very enjoyable. But you can see Cameron Dow's there diving down the inside, of Patrick Supos. Couldn't quite pull it off, and we are as we were from the start of the race. So off we go onto lap 2.
Hey, head down, Saka, you know where you can be.
As Brett informs us and gives us that little bit of encouragement. But this bit of encouragement didn't last very long, as he's back on the radio.
Thomas Ronhart, P10.
Oh my god.
My
And
god.
we hear that Thomas Ronhart obviously had a qualifying ban from the start of the race, so would have started on
How is Peter at
last or very near to last, and within a lap and a half basically is halfway there to the win. So we're just going to have to keep our wits about us on what he's doing throughout this race. But already on end of lap 2 we pick up our first warning of the race, so that's not a great start. Going to have to try and watch that and stay disciplined throughout the rest of the race. But skipping on now to lap 8, not much is happening. Obviously a lot of sort of DRS training, everyone's still very much in this pack, and yeah, just trying to manage our
Let's up the
batteries.
pace of that.
As we can hear,
from this lap.
Alvaro's going to start pushing here and try and
Some
put
pressure on him.
a little bit of pressure onto Piotr Stachilek here, and he's right on the cusp of dropping out of this DRS detection zone. So he's going to have to, deploy and really be on his A game here to not slip into our clutches, as we have done a decent job of reharvesting our battery here up to about 75% as we break into the hairpin. And Alexander Kraft and Luke Smith battling in the background. Luke has had a pretty good start, obviously getting knocked out in Q2, now sort of knocking on the door of the top 5. So that's been a good recovery so far for him. But now skipping on to about the middle, lap 10, and Stachilek is now well and truly, he's struggling. There's no other way of putting it. He's just hanging on to that DRS detection zone, and he's going to be right on the limit here as we enter the 3rd sector. And as we're going to say here,
He's out of battery. He's flashing.
Piotr is now out of
Check, look,
battery.
down the back.
He's under the 10% mark, and this is our opportunity
I'm trying,
here.
my tyres are already
But we're
dying.
already complaining on lap 10 of our
Got no
tyres
traction.
starting to go off, and we are at a 7/10 gap. So we're going to use a little bit of that battery that we've harvested and try and get onto the back of Piotr Stachilek here for the Haas F1 esports team. And yeah, you can see now he doesn't have the DRS. He is a sitting duck essentially. We want to get past him nice and quickly so our teammate doesn't escape. Obviously we want to try and control the race with him from the front. So we're going to get the DRS and ERS on here, pick up the slipstream, and we're going to make easy work here of Piotr Stachilek. I think it genuinely just pulled out of the way because I think he knew there was no point fighting that. He has no battery and is struggling for pace, so I think he was wise to sort of let us go there, as Patrick Supos also makes his way past the Haas driver, and we just about sneak here into the DRS of our teammate. But we are down quite a bit here on ERS as we set the fastest lap of the race.
Supos
Had
just
to
got the
deploy
DRS.
quite a bit to try and get back within range.
And I have no battery left now.
Seabos is fast, so no point trying to grab him.
And as we say here,
Yeah, need to try and save now.
Supos has
I've
been
got
going
no
pretty
battery.
well in practice and so far throughout qualifying and the race, so no point trying to gap him. It's time to save a bit of battery as the
There's
first
an
cars
Alpine in.
are starting to pit here.
Hard runners are starting
Luke
to pit.
Smith jumps into the pits for the race
yeah.
clutch team, trying to perform the undercut and try and get within our lead pack.
Stachilek is in.
Stachilek on the following lap. So I think
On RP5.
by the end of this lap, I'm going to be responding myself. And as we come here through the pit lane,
What?
the game decides to give me
Yeah, you can remove it, no worries.
interesting penalty, let's say. Obviously no corner cutting was done
Put me
there,
off completely in the pit
so
entry.
yeah, you can essentially disregard that penalty, as that is a load of rubbish from the F1 game right there. I've never even seen that one before, but never ceases to amaze me sometimes. Anyways, we do a nice easy pit stop. It kind of put us off onto the entry, so we lost a bit of time there. But as you can see from the top, Luke Smith sets the fastest lap of the race, and he has performed the undercut on us. It is very potent on this track, and we were sort of alert to the fact that he could come out in front of us, and he well and truly did. But we're going to try our best here, obviously on the cold tyres, to try and stay close to that DRS detection zone, and try and get onto the back of him as quickly as possible. Fortunately for us, we have a couple of hard runners yet to pit in Luke's way. The likes of Ika Baena and Thomas Harvey going long on those hard tyres, struggling for pace it seems. And that's going to come in nice and clutch for us, because they are doing a superb job of holding up Luke here. I think
Thomas Harvey backing the pack.
Thomas might be trying to do his mate Alexander Kraft in the other VSR car here a favour, as Luke goes very deep. I think trying to take even evasive action here of Thomas Harvey, and we are right onto the back here of Luke Smith. But we're gonna play the long game. There's no need to attack right now. Obviously we're in a little bit of traffic as our teammate enters the pits, and this
come out in this pack.
This honestly could work out very well for our teammate. Obviously we've been slowed down quite a lot by this traffic, so he's either going to come out, well, he could end up very badly or very well. He could end up in this pack, or he could end up in front of it, and if he ends up in front of it, that is absolutely ideal for his race. So let's see as he exits the pits. Luke Smith going for the move now on Thomas Harvey, and it's going to get all a little bit tasty into the first corner, as our teammate does indeed emerge into the lead, and Luke Smith makes that double overtake here on Thomas Harvey and Ika Baena, so well played there. As I'm getting a little bit of a shove through turn 2, I believe, from Patrick Sepos, but now we are right onto the back of Thomas Harvey on those old hard tyres. We're going to make easy work of him down into the hairpin. Luke Smith now making a move on our teammate Alvaro Caraton on his cold medium tyres, and he's just going to filter in behind the race clutch and Alpine Esports driver here. And now it is our job to try and get past Ika Baena as quickly as possible on those old hard tyres. Obviously he is not in the same races as us whatsoever, so I can't imagine he'll be fighting this too hard, so we're going to deploy some ERS. I think he's also deploying maybe to try and keep within the DRS, but it looks like he's a little bit reluctant to let us go here, so we're going to have to try and force the move on the exit of the snail section. We do make the move stick, and yeah, it looks like he does want to race, so we're going to just I was going to say destroy, well, definitely not. We're going to deploy the ERS here, DRS open, and we're going to make sure that he can't come back at us into the hairpin, but unfortunately that is quite a lot of wasted battery, and yeah, something that probably didn't need to happen, as Patrick Sepos makes that move stick down into the hairpin, and we are back now into a net P3.
Almost has well 3 seconds.
Thomas Ron picking up the same penalty as we did into the pits.
Same as first stint.
He was in a net P8 or 9 when he pitted, so he is making that progress still, and he's going to be a danger at the end of the race on those fresh tyres. But skipping on to lap 18 now, our teammate has had enough of following Luke Smith, and he's going to make that move stick nice and easily into the hairpin on his slightly fresher tyres. I think he has a decent amount of battery saved up as well, and skipping on another couple of laps, he has managed to break that DRS detection from Luke Smith, who is now out of battery. So our teammate's pace is looking extremely good here, and he's looking good to sort of escape and run off and win this race. And now we are sort of stuck in a bit of an Alpine sandwich by ourselves now. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle for us to try and beat these guys. Obviously going to be working together.
Oh my God, Luke is backing me up
towards the end of this race to try and pick up best team result as possible for themselves. Obviously, but yeah, I think we'd basically had enough of that by the start of lap 23, and we are going to go for the move. A bit aggressive on the battery, maybe again a little bit wasteful. I think my management this race really could have been better, but we're going to try and make the move nonetheless round the outside.
Cheers, mate.
Make a little bit of contact with the front wing of Luke Smith there. He's just sort of kept it poked in there. But yeah, maybe should have left a little bit more space, but we both come out unscathed from that one. And as you hear from Brett, they switched the cars. Patrick on those fresher tyres, probably with a bit more battery as well. And Thomas Ronhart is now through to P4. So we have a little bit of a job to do here, heading on to the last 3 laps of this race. We have Patrick with a bit more pace than us behind, probably with a bit more battery, and as you can see, he's going to be using a bit of that battery here. And we are a bit of a sitting duck heading into this hairpin, so we're going to cover the middle of the track. He chooses the inside line, and he's going to get it stopped, I think, pretty decently into here. We go for the switchback, try and compromise him out of this one, try and force him to use a bit of battery, as we're going to try and play this for the last couple of laps and see if we can get a good run on him heading into the race. So yet again, we're going to try and make his life a little bit difficult here into the first corner. Not really looking for a move, but yeah, just trying to fill his mirrors and yeah, make sure he knows we are there, as he makes a little bit of a mistake heading out of the snail section onto the main straight, and we're going to deploy the ERS here, try and get onto the back of him and within that really potent slipstream range. Now we have Thomas Ronhart on the freshest tyres of all of us onto the back of us too, so we're trying to look forwards and behind with each of our eyes here. So yeah, it's going to be difficult, but we're going to do the best we can. But obviously now we are well and truly under that 10% range, and Patrick is still not flashing, so it's not looking great for us to try and make a move into the end of this race. But as you can see here, he just about starts flashing before the first corner, so we are on fairly similar battery percentage here. So if we can try and stay close to him for the rest of this lap, we might just get one more opportunity heading into the hairpin in the last sector. But we're going to have to try and stay super close through these long corners in the second sector, which is pretty hard to do with the dirty air, despite these 2022 regulation changes. So here we go through the long left and the right, just dipping down to 6th gear, try and get that ever so slight improved rotation, and we are sitting about 5.5 tenths as we head on to the start of sector 3. We are basically relying on a mistake here as Thomas Ronhart closes onto the back of us. Those fresh tyres really starting to come in clutch for him now, giving him that extra bit of grip on these traction zones. As you're going to see off of this snail section, we are not getting a great exit, and Thomas Ronhart is, and rather than looking forwards, we're going to be looking behind us here into this last hairpin. We've got the DRS open, but we are now on 0% battery. We have nothing left to fight with, so we're going to go defensive to the inside. Ronhart's going to force his nose in, open a line for him here, and just try and stick it around the outside, try and fight him on the exit, which we do, and we just about hold on. I think he had a little bit of a gear sync issue there on his wheel, in all fairness to him, but we hold on nonetheless.
P1 and P3. Not P1, P2, but not bad.
Honestly, it's a good team race, man.
Yeah,
there's not
we
really
can't
much we can done
complain
there.
too much about that, because yeah, we're going to walk away with a P1 and 3. And yeah, I mean, in the team's championship, you can't ask for too much more than that. Obviously, disappointed that we couldn't quite have Patrick on track there. Obviously, the Alpine guys are very, very talented, and we want to try and take as many points off them as possible. But as you'll be able to see here from the updated spreadsheet, we did indeed get our 3-second penalty removed. Obviously, that wasn't deserved in the slightest. And we extend our championship lead to 69 points ahead of Race Clutch now. Parnell didn't have a great time out after they briefly took second place in the standings last time out in Zandvoort, finishing P9 and 10. But yeah, obviously not a bad result at all, and very, very happy for my teammate to come out with a very dominant victory there in the end. So great job by him. That's 4 out of 4 now for the team in terms of wins this season. So yeah, no complaints there whatsoever. But yeah, that was basically all she wrote for this China race. Next time out will be at Miami, as you'll be able to see here. And yeah, this is going to be my first ever race at Miami on this game, so it's going to be interesting. A lot of work to do ahead of that one, but yeah, hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time. Peace.